Hi, my name is Michaela Tar.
And I'm Maka Vickers, and we're here to take you beyond the break. Michaela?
Have you seen the new WNO card?
Yes, I did. Helena and Elizabeth Clay is on it, which super excited for.
Yeah, and like, that'll be sick. I do think Helena's gonna win. She's on a tear right now. I don't really think that
Literally tearing people's calves in half.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I know she didn't get gold at ADCC, but she had a really amazing performance, and she only lost by points. Like, it wasn't like she lost by sub, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, to take a silver medal at ADCC Worlds, and it's your first one, an impressive run, and against like well-decorated black belts.
And she was under 18 at the time.
Oh, well, she was.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just a team just messing people up.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, who else was on the card?
Victor Hugo and Luke Griffith.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I really want Luke to win because I know Luke, but also, I don't know. I mean, like, Victor Hugo just beat Nicky Rod at UFC Fight Pass, so I don't know. It'll be an interesting one for sure. And speaking of Nicky Rod is also on this card. I see he's the main event with Kanye Duarte.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that one sounds mind boring.
Maybe we'll get to see King of the Scramble take a scramble to a different level this time.
Oh, King of the Scramble is Andrew Tackett, brother. Andrew Tackett's on this card. I have a funny story. I don't know who this...
Or, sorry, Scrimmage.
Scrimmage. There.
See, I don't even follow these guys on that level.
It's like, are we talking about Andrew Tackett? Who else is on the card? We have
Sanji versus the Boogeyman. I think it's like Six Blades versus 10th Planet, which is kind of cool, I guess. It's like a little bit let's pull Hada, and a little bit let's put our joints in really pretzel positions. So should be an interesting matchup considering their age as well.
That's true. And it's kind of cool that Sanji's on the same card as Victor, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
There's gonna be a lot of Six Blades people, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder how many 10P people are gonna go out and support.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about CJI coming up? Specifically, which New Wave boys do you think will be on the New Wave team?
I think it's less about who is gonna be on the card and who I hope is on the card. Like, I hope Davis Asari is on there, like, for sure. Like, Davis is one of the more exciting athletes, I think, on the team, and I think, like, he could do really well, and I was really disappointed because I really was hoping that he would end up on the ADCC card, the last ADCC, and, you know, things didn't work out in his favor, but I think that potentially seeing him on CJI would be, like, super exciting.
For sure.
And then, what, who else do you think?
Maybe Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't put Dorian on there. I feel like Dorian brings about a lot of conversation, and he's definitely one of their up-and-coming athletes as well.
So we had under 66, under 77. Is it 88?
I don't know what the weight classes are, actually.
Probably Giancarlo.
Yeah,
88.
Probably Giancarlo.
No, but the two-time world champion.
Could we be a rematch with
Giancarlo and J-Rod?
Yeah.
Maybe.
How do you feel if that ended up happening? I don't even know what the rules for CJI. It's like they mix them, like everyone goes up against everyone, right? But if we saw J-Rod versus Giancarlo, do you think that Giancarlo would still win?
Absolutely. I have never doubted Giancarlo, and I never will. He's just one of those athletes that's pretty consistent and constant with his jiu-jitsu. I have nothing to comment on whether an athlete is juicing or not. I don't speculate, nor do I care. A lot of people ask me that, which is kind of crazy because I literally am like not muscular at all. But
are you kidding me?
I'm freakishly strong.
You're freakishly. You're also jacked. Okay, I don't even. Yeah, maybe
you're not like a little bit of soft tissue, so.
Maybe you're not like a bodybuilder, like Roman style, but like you still got muscle on you, bro. You just walk around and I just see your shoulders, and I'm like, bro, the dream.
But so I do kind of actually want to talk about this because it's always this controversial topic in jiu-jitsu. While it's like uh, anabolic steroids are not illegal, it's kind of frowned upon or almost shamed if you do use it because it's seen as cheating. Uh, I think it's bullshit, like, to shame people because you have a disagreement of how someone should or should not train. I think you should just focus on yourself and mind your business and stay hydrated. You know how many jiu-jitsu athletes I know who are like not fucking minding their business and not hydrated? A lot. So next time you start to question whether if someone is anabolic steroids, uh, maybe just like drink water and mind your business.
You know what's okay? So
But nothing against speculating you on that side, because like it's always important to be curious too, and I want to encourage that for you for sure.
I think like it's another conversation like about like you know someone is taking something like has something that is like you can pay for that makes you better at the sport and the other person is not, right? So I feel like the fact that like their match was like very exciting the way that it was and like J-Rod had like some like positive offense and like I would have to go back and rewatch the match again, but like it was a really good match. Like it wasn't like Giancarlo just like absolutely demolished him. Obviously he didn't sub him. So uh like I think that that is like something to be like it if they were both natty or both on steroids, how would that match go? Like I think that that's a fun hypothetical to think about. But I mean,
For
like
sure.
if there was a way to like make everyone natty in a real way that they couldn't cheat or like because every single way of like how to catch people that are on steroids like it it's just you can game it like if you're smart enough you know how to figure out a way around it like it doesn't matter what you do like there's always a way around every rule so it's like I think that it would be nice to have an even playing field and I do think that it sets a weird precedent for like younger athletes coming up that think that they have to be on steroids to have success. So I do think that it's nice to have the role models of like J-Rod and like other people that I mean they say they're not on steroids and hopefully they're being truthful. I think that that's the most important part. Like hopefully they're being truthful, and that are showing people that they can still compete at a high level even without being on steroids. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you'd like the playing field to be a little bit evened out and level for all parties involved. But to be honest, that's like the opposite of how like life actually works. So the whole thing too about like natural or using anabolic steroids, that's such an intimate and personal thing to each person. And whether someone chooses to use it or not, um, it doesn't determine whether they're more skilled or more accomplished. Can it help them get to the path of winning in a more efficient or effective way? Sure. Even I myself have considered using anabolic steroids, but
That's crazy to admit that right now.
I mean, I'm pretty open about talking about it because it's like, why shame something or like make something more taboo than it has to be? Like, let's be informed and make educated decisions. And mostly for myself, I sought out doctors in that area because I wanted to know why from a scientific level, but from like a personal level, why I have never used it or why I will not choose to use it. And I got my blood work done. I got my baselines checked out, like an EKG, and like to see like where I'm at right now. And being that like I'm a woman in my 30s now, and I'm going to be considering having kids in the next 5 to 10 years. For me, that was like the break. Was like I don't want to affect any part of my ability to have children in the future or their um, like I don't know if it will affect their genetic makeup or have a implication in that way. But also too, like I was curious to know like, will it help me recover more? I mean, I train 2, 3 times a day with lifting sessions. And like how do I get more of a competitive edge over up and coming younger athletes? I need more mat time. I need more competition experience. And I've been competing almost every weekend now. I go in stints, but like for the past, I would say since December, I've been competing almost every weekend, and now it's mid-March. Where are we in the world?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like so locked in. No, I'm just kidding. Semi-locked in. Locked in part-time. But I really wanted to like investigate and understand from a deep personal level why I choose to not use it. And so, yeah, it came down for me, but I don't want to affect having children in the future or have an implication on their genetic makeup. For myself, like would feel like it wouldn't align with me holistically. I don't take any substances or like I've just now started taking supplements again because I'm in my 30-year-old year. And some of the things for the body need some assistance. And so like that's new for me. But it doesn't align with me to put a foreign substance in my body. So
Yeah. I mean, the fact that needles are involved is enough for me to be like, that.
well, there are other options. That's why also I got informed. There are creams. Yes. You have to wait at least 2 or 3 hours or something after application so it doesn't smear all over, for the chemical compounds to like be absorbed or something. There's oral um tablets, I believe. And then yeah, syringe or injections.
Yeah. One time I went to one of our friends' houses, and he just had his steroids in the kitchen. Actually, I went to another friend's house, and he just had his steroids just in his movie room, and I was just like, "Oh, cool." It was funny. They always hide them. They always like they're out in the open, but as soon as like you walk into that room, they go, "What?" And then they just like put them away.
Yeah, I mean, I have had friends who also had them out, and have
Probably just
possibly have talked about it openly. But they have shared, and I've asked them, like, do you not care that people see? And they've straight up said, no, I don't care that anybody knows that I use because the reason why they use it and they're confident in that reason, um, they don't care if someone refutes it or rejects it because they stand their ground. And like I said, I think it's everyone's personal choice. And I think it's just if you point the finger and say, shame on you, when like you should be minding your business and staying hydrated. If you guys don't catch the theme, drink water, grapplers. Okay, you don't need grapplers are probably dehydrated right now.
bro, so many. You know how I know? Because so many of my friends, I only see them drinking Red Bull or like energy drinks, which yeah, they have water in them, but that's not what you should be drinking. Like the fact that people drink more energy drinks and coffee and stuff than they do real water drives me insane. Now, I am a weirdo and I only drink water, so maybe I'm talking from like a weird perspective, but I don't know. They always admit they're like, "Yeah, I don't drink enough water." And I'm like, "Well, you could change that." I do carry around a half-gallon jug of water everywhere I go. If it was within grab, I would show.
Your flask is pretty huge.
Bro, when I go to the gym and there's guys that have bigger water bottles than me, I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like my water bottle is already so big.
How many ounces would you say your water bottle is?
It's half a gallon.
So 64?
Yep.
Insane. It's giving improvised weapons, blunt object vibes.
If it's full though, it would be hard to like swing it around.
Well, you see, there's something called a little bit of rope and a little bit of heavy object on the end of it. And now you have a swinging heavy object. And what is the number one rule behind self-defense? Create space and get away.
This is true.
So
I'll just call I think that one of the things that makes me feel safe in life is that Big Dan's one of my friends. Anytime I'm like,
you're very fortunate he's one of your friends. He seems to be
want to be on his bets.
I don't try to be, but I appear to be. Big Dan has this like obsession of like making my life hell. He just is so mean to me all the time at any chance that he can get.
Yeah, but every time he's mean to you, he ends it with, "I love you, Maka."
I don't believe it. But then I still say hi, Dan. Like, women. That's just a girl logic, I guess.
Yeah.
Keep giving them chances.
But I feel like we would still call him if we were in a pickle.
Oh, speaking of Big Dan, who do you think would be his match against or in the CJI
So
event?
do you know if it's like weight classes against weight classes, or is it like 66 guy can compete against plus 99 guy?
I do believe this past one was open weight, right? Because we had Jason Nolf against Ty Rutolo.
Well, it was
Or
I think it was under 80 kg and then above 80. Yeah, or something like that. I don't remember the numbers, but it was like that. But now that we have like the team aspect, is it all the 66 guys against all the 66 guys, or is it here's your team and here are all the weight classes and they only fight their weight classes and then you see who wins the most, or is it like you win, you stay on?
Yeah, that actually might be interesting because I just recently competed in a quintet event and all of the women were under 145. Finisher sub only. Shout out to them. They put on an amazing women's only show. I love to see it, and I hope to see so many more promotions putting women's matches on that degree. But I believe there were 35 women, 7 teams, and quintet rule sets specifically don't allow for like leg locks. Anything other than a straight ankle lock and a knee bar was illegal.
Was Aoki butts allowed?
No. But, like, a little bit,
How do
they know? Like, how do they know it's an Aoki lock? Like, literally, how will they know if you're so good at hiding it?
I mean, I would rat on someone. I'd be like, they Aoki locked me, roll the tape. Watch it again. I'd be like, was my heel on their rib? Yes or no, ma'am. Okay? You gotta do what you gotta do to win, okay? Fair? I'm sure even if someone straight ankle locked me, I'd probably be like, people sure about that? That was an Aoki. That's fair, I know. I wouldn't do that.
But yeah, so the CJI event, maybe it's going to give like a quintet style, but obviously using CJI rules, so that will be interesting to have that 1-minute break in between rounds. And maybe possibly they are going to have more divisions. Have you been tracking anything CJI? I haven't.
I feel like I see it, but I don't really. I will know the rules by the time the event happens, but I also don't really believe that they're going to be consistent with everything because it's new. Like, yeah, they might have decided on the rules, but like they could change their mind and be like, no, we're going to switch this up or this up because we've thought about it and it's going to be different. So I haven't fully it's, I don't feel like it's important to remember it now. It'll be important when like the event is like sooner. But I feel like it's still very far away. I don't even know when it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be around like Nogi Masters Worlds, or Masters Worlds, not Nogi Master Worlds, Masters Worlds.
I'm not sure when they'll have it, but
they released it.
Last year they had it the same weekend as ADCC.
Yeah.
Which, let's talk about it. Because like, okay, Craig Jones is probably doing the most right now in terms of athlete compensation outside of the UFC, and that's to be applauded, to be honest. However, if that is your intent to advocate for athlete compensation, but you also intentionally hold it on the same weekend as ADCC World Championships, which happen only every 2 years, and your event is going to be annually, I think it's a little bit instigatory because like there were a lot of athletes that, I mean, ADCC has always been regarded as like the Olympics of jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And so like athletes had to choose between competing at their highest known level or getting paid. And of course, what are they going to do? Get paid.
I mean, but it was super smart in the fact that like everyone had already bought tickets. They were already going to be there. They already had hotel rooms. Like, for me, I went to both events.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was a good move from a trying to make money standpoint. Like,
A business standpoint.
Like, from a business standpoint, like, I was like, okay, ADCC's done, or I don't want to watch these matches or whatever on the first day. And we went after weigh-ins to CJI, and we watched the event until we like went back to the hotel room and watched the rest. Like I was like, tickets are, I think it was like $50 or something. I was like, so we can either go to CJI, which I was already planning on watching it because it was free anyways, or I could like go do something else in Vegas, which was probably not going to be as fun. It was like I was going to do like Meow Wolf or go to CJI, and I'm like, I'm here for jiu-jitsu, like I'm going to go watch jiu-jitsu. So like I know that they made a lot of sales off of just that, which was very smart on their end. Like I'm not going to make the trip out there to CJI too because I don't really like Vegas. Two, I'm not gonna be there already. Like I'm not gonna go out of my way to go to an event that I'm not competing on. Like I'll go to local events in Austin, like WNO. I'll go to like Christos's events, Enigma, Equinox. Like I'll go to Ali and Freddie's events, and like I want to support the local events that are going on. But I don't feel like traveling, buying a flight, booking a stay, and everything for an event that uh I can watch from the comfort of my home, you know, and like it's cheaper to watch it at home, even if they make it you pay for a pay-per-view. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's good from a business standpoint because I wouldn't have gotten out there for it. Like they got a lot more people in seats.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I think it's also in a way of robbing of the opportunity for what would have been an exciting ADCC and also an exciting CJI first event if Craig didn't hold it on the same weekend. But I do understand he's probably trying to make a point and like be audacious as always.
I'm gonna be honest, though, both events were still good in my opinion.
Like, I just felt like ADCC lost its glamour, and all of the comments that I heard from my friends who attended both or watched both online, they felt CJI was more exciting. And honestly, I think it was. Yeah. And ADCC itself in the venue, there was a lot of empty seats, which can be disheartening for a lot of athletes who've worked their ass off for many years to get to that point, to look up in the crowd and like hear nothing. That's kind of
Disheartening.
I mean, like the previous ADCCs, the crowds were insane, sold out in the nosebleeds.
The previous ADCC was held in the same arena, which had much less seats. So it could have been the same amount of people in the crowd, just it was in a bigger venue. I mean, there was a lot of controversy over that as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The T-Mobile Arena was nice. I don't think that I don't know all the intricacies of everything, but I mean like the venue that CJI was held at was okay too. Like I wouldn't have been like upset if it was there, but I don't know. Like
Yeah. Let's agree to disagree on this subject. It's like, I am team, why can't we all be friends? Why can't we all make it work? But also your team, like, hey, let the best man win, and I respect it. So,
yeah, that's true.
I guess. What do you think are green flags and or red flags in the training room? Switch of a topic.
Okay, so I think the biggest red flag is if there's no women there. If there's no women there, then that means that the men are so toxic that they can't even like keep a female around.
However, I will say, other than you and I in the training room at Henzo's with John, we are probably the only
Anna,
on
Jordan,
I would say that are the most consistent about going to classes. There have been lately, honestly, a lot of times where I've looked around and I'm the only female on the mat.
well, that's just because I'm not a. But I mean, I think that there's more women at Henzo's than I've had in any other training room, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, like I used to be the only girl in my other training rooms.
Well, you come from like a school up northeast area, right? Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Wait, can you say this word?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Mass,
Chu,
sits,
Massa,
chu,
Massachusetts. Okay, English is my second language. I'm from Hawaii. My first language is Pidgin. It's a broken English, okay?
Hey, you know what? That attempt was way better than some of my other friends that like English is also their second language, but like their language is farther off from English. Like one of my friends from Finland, it just sounds like he's saying math.
Oh my god.
Like he can't say it.
Okay, so what do I think is a red flag in the training room? If I see a lot of people who are out for injury on the side, like, bro, that is insane.
But that's everyone at Henzo's.
But there's no one really sitting like against the wall with groups and clusters. Like I've been to schools where you have homeboy in a sling, homeboy in a ankle wrap, and a bunch of different other people with so many like knee sleeves, elbow sleeves. Like if I see so much of that and then people are on the match training and also on the side, that either A, communicates to me that in training, it's very frequent to get hurt, and or B, if you're just like either being reckless or careless with yourself as an athlete. And like, why would I want to train with people like that?
That's fair enough. Yeah. I guess all of my injuries have always been my fault. So, like, I've never been in the position where I'm like, they hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I've always been, but I've always been like everyone's little sister.
Yeah.
So, everyone really has always ruled very gently, and I still hurt myself. Have you ever been in a situation where someone like really hurt you badly in training?
In training, yes, and with my training partners that I have had known rounds with that we essentially go to war. Which we both have a universally unspoken agreement that like if we're going to war for this round, like try your best to mitigate risk, but it's swim at your own risk also. And yeah, I've gotten some sharp elbows to the back of my head. I've gotten concussions from heavy head fighting. I've gotten slammed on the mat by lots of guys when I take their back. For one reason or another, maybe they spaz and freak out, or they're literally trying to get me off their back. But honestly, I'm built like a tank, and being Hawaiian as well, I'm a little bit rough and tough. So actually, one time in training, there was a visiting girl. She was big boned. Not saying that she was thick at all, but her bones were thick. Okay. And it was seated versus standing. And I'm doing my normal Toriando setup, side to side. And she high legs her big boned ankle bone straight into my nose. And I sneezed immediately after. That's how much it like hurt. But when I sneezed, it burned so bad. And my eyes literally started watering. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I'm like this close to like freaking out, but like my face, not because of the pain. Yeah, it was painful for sure. But like if she misaligned my nose and I have to wear a mask and I don't have a normal nose for the rest of my life, this is unforgivable. I don't care if it's fixable. You just ruined my moneymaker. So that was like a challenge for me, but I took it like a champ and I didn't want her to feel some type of way. And I kept the round going. And after class, she came up to me again and she apologized. But yeah, definitely red flags a little bit too much hurt training partners and getting hurt.
Yeah, I guess what's another red flag?
Wait, let's talk about green flags.
You're right. Green flags. Green flags. That the gym is clean. If the gym is clean,
yes.
If they're cleaning the mats in between classes,
yes,
that's a green flag.
I agree.
If the bathrooms have toilet paper and paper towels and soap, that's a green flag.
Agreed. Yes.
Cleanliness is key.
Yes, I agree. My green flag would be if the lead instructor or teacher, coach, whatever you prefer to call your sensei, is protective over athletes and students and advocating for a safe training room, I think that's the biggest green flag for me. John is very protective over all of us that regularly train under him. And also like maybe some drop-ins too. But I really admire the fact that John prioritizes a very safe training room. Like we're not allowed to do fly submissions,
Jumping guard.
yeah, like Connie Basami like things.
Yeah.
So I really, really like that. And there have been lots of instances where like I've been in a like predicament and John has advocated to the person involved, like, let's be safe.
When
We'll send Haraya Goshi.
I don't remember what Riot Row was, but I heard it.
Yeah. I guess I have to story time this, huh?
I mean, we can bleep out the name.
Okay, yeah. This person that I have a great relationship with, he is a friend of mine. He is also a chef too, which is why we get along because we love to cook off the mats too. Him and I have like a unspoken agreement that we have intense rounds. We trust each other and like we're both competitors and we appreciate that in that way for each of us. We're also the same rank. But I was really shocked in my wrestling round with him that I was able to actually threaten Uchimata, which I'm not very good at, and he's taller than me. And I actually brought his hands to the mat and broke his posture very like swiftly. And it made me admire my work in a brief second to like be so shocked that he took that as a green light to full send a hip toss. And before I knew it, I didn't even blink yet. And I was like up in the air and I was spinning and I was like, girl, you are gonna land. So brace yourself. So I break fall flat back on the mat and I like lose a whole bunch of air and I'm like, but I was like, you brought this upon yourself. You're gonna stand up because everyone probably saw that and you're gonna be a champ and slap bump and you're not gonna go 10 times harder. You're just going to pretend like nothing happened. So I did just that. I got up and I slap bumped and Abraham Lamontagne, our mat enforcer at Penzo's, looked up at me, made dead eye contact, stopped his round and said, Maka, are you okay? And I was like, yes, get back to training. Nothing to see here. But afterwards, Abraham came over to talk to me and this said person and said that you should have a conversation with John to let him know that, like, hey, this was a mutual understanding, like, blah, blah, blah. So this person actually went to John and was like, hey, I know you probably saw that round with Maka. Yeah, I just want to let you know, like, I had him permission before I full center. And like we have this unspoken agreement to have intense rounds and John already knew what this guy was going to talk to him about as he was walking over and he was laughing. I saw it across the mat and John was like, I understand. And even though Maka's a very tough woman, we do not full send hip tosses on women in the training room. And he's like, but Maka is like, no, I get it. Maka's a tough girl. We don't do this to women in the training room, okay? And he's like, all right, moving on.
Yeah. John has also stepped in a couple times to save me from injury with other people in the training room, which I appreciate. I've had some heart-to-hearts with him. He's told me to pick my training partners carefully. You know.
And did you?
Yeah. I still roll with them, though. But we have parameters. We've talked about it. And they're much more safe now, I feel like. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it is nice to know that there's someone that does have your back a little bit when they do feel like there's a potential problem that's arising. And they have rules set in place, sorry, gust of wind, to try and keep everyone in the room safe, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you find yourself with higher ranking athletes or more skilled athletes going a little bit harder than you should?
No. I roll with everyone pretty light when I haven't rolled with him a lot. The only exception, I did notice that I did this when I would roll with Seb. Uh, I would just fucking go hard as because he's a big guy. Like, I just, like, full send. Like, I was working on some, like, rumble passing and stuff. I was, like, learning, like, the mechanics of, like, pinning the wrist to the body and stuff, and I just fucking full send it, and he'd make fun of me. But I was like, what else? Like, literally nothing else is gonna work, cause he just, like, goes like this, and then I'm on my back. Like, one, he is way higher rank. He's trained a lot longer than me. His technique is better. He's bigger. He's stronger.
Yeah, my experience going with higher ranking people, I don't necessarily go harder because I'm already going super hard. LOL, JK. Uh, when I go against a higher ranking person or someone who's I know is a bit more skilled than me, what I like to do is put myself in bad positions because I want to see how they treat me first. Like, first things first is like, do they prioritize my safety? Um, and I like to like read the energy, give them the opportunity or give them the benefit of the doubt that they can handle the opportunity to just get the quick submission with care. Um, and from there, I gauge like if I feel pretty safe and confident that they do have my safety in mind, I turn the heat way the fuck up because that is an opportunity for me to get a good competition round in and see where my weaknesses are and exploit it so I can be very clear on what else I need to work on. Because, like, for me, when I'm training, I have a specific plan every round, every exchange that I have that I'm working on. So right now, I'm like, I think week 4 in my 6-week long plan to work on things. And I've gotten so many reps now on the things that I'm working on in my rounds that I can play around with like my hard intensity going to war and also my research and development of like what I'm working on. So I see them as opportunities.
This is true. Well, on that note, thanks for tuning in to the Beyond Break podcast. Again, my name is Michaela Tarr.
And I'm Maka Vickers, and I hope we took you beyond the break.
See y'all next time. Bye.